Now that the dust has settled, we can finally allow last night's incredible, epic comeback performance to sink in, because for myself, I feel like last night's win against Spurs is the turning point we have been waiting to see for this new look Chelsea team and project. My friends, you know what you're here for. 5 things we learned against Tottenham, and I'll be breaking down the brilliance of Palmer, Enzo, elite mentality, plus a ton more things. So if you guys are feeling excited that this process is finally showing some legs right now, if you feel like something is happening this season, my friends, hit that like button right now. Go crazy with it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let's get straight into things. The first thing we learned last night, we finally saw elite mentality in this team. I feel like one of the main reasons why last night's win resonated so well across the fan base was that we finally produced and showed elite mentality. Mentality can be the difference between success and failure. Very fine margins. And mentality has been something that we have been questioning in this young team over the past 2 years. How often last season, when things were going against us, did heads drop very easily, and then we kind of beat ourselves even more and produce results that we got last season? Before this game, a lot of us had some very big expectations for this game against Spurs. A lot of it bordered on arrogance. The reason for this energy now is that we're all seeing the signs of something happening now. We expected something good to happen against Tottenham, so when those first 10 minutes hit us, when we saw those 2 slips from Cucurella, slips that you've never seen in your entire life, let's just say this was a moment to be humbled. Some of you guys might have felt a bit of fear. Are we about to blow this against Tottenham? Are we about to go out sad? Is this going to be an embarrassing defeat? And that's okay to feel that way. But for the majority of us, we felt like this wasn't the moment to start losing faith. We felt like there was still plenty of game left to turn things around. We've seen enough small examples this season to feel like this team actually does have some resolve in their game, does have that fight back, does have enough left in the tank to be able to turn things around. So when we saw Cole Palmer PANENKA the penalty for the 4th goal to silence those Spurs fans, I'm not going to judge you guys if you celebrated like an absolute fool or even took off your top. But I feel like that energy was justified, because for me, that was the changing point that I've been waiting to see in this team for a very long time, because that moment showed exactly how far we've come and what's about to happen for us in the future. So let's break down some of these incredible moments of mentality, because these guys turn into mentality monsters to produce that comeback, and it starts with Cucurella at the back. For his consistency this season, he had one of the most nightmare starts any game you'll see in the last few years, and in prior seasons, if this had happened to Cucurella, he would have lost faith. His head would be down and he'd be completely out of the game as he's beating himself up mentally. So after that second slip, when I saw this guy run straight to the touchline to get his boot swapped, listen, maybe it might have given him a bit more grip. I think it's quite unlikely. And realistically, it doesn't really matter, because what does matter is that he felt like this would give him the psychological boost that he needs to find his performance back in the game again, to get his head back into things, to produce a mentality that you need to find success. And after that moment, he was incredibly solid throughout the game. You're looking at Jadon Sancho. I don't know if you guys noticed the celebration, but when he gave us that hope with the initial goal, he completely said no to celebrating. His only focus was on getting ready to kick off, because he was ready to go again. It wasn't time to feel happy for himself. Enzo Fernandez gave us one of the highlights of this season, and a moment that we won't be forgetting anytime soon, after he finally put us in the lead against Spurs with a well-executed goal. And the celebration, it was pure ecstasy, it was pure passion, it was pure hunger, it was pure competition. The purity of that celebration, I have to say, I felt goosebumps. But the mentality monsters weren't just in players that perform well. Look at Nicholas Jackson's reaction when he finally got subbed off. Last night was a poor game by the standards he set for himself this season, but he left that field feeling angry in himself, angry with how he didn't help his teammates as much as he wants. When have you ever seen Nico react in that type of manner? And of course, the most notable part of the game, Cole Palmer sealing things with a beautiful, exquisite, arrogant goal against Tottenham with that PANENKA. And to produce that moment was pure bliss, because he was getting a ton of abuse from Spurs fans from set pieces throughout the game. And that moment with that PANENKA, that was a message to let everyone know, I will never ever be fazed by the descent. You can't get in my head. And I feel like yesterday, this was the first time that I saw the mentality that gives me belief that we are a team now. There is a process here. With this project, we are destined to be title contenders, and we are destined to take this throne and mantle away from Man City. So my friends, that's the first thing we learned out the way. And for the second thing we've learned, Cole Palmer is the magician that we have always been waiting for. Last night, Cole Palmer proved yet again that he's not a normal human being. Maresca said it best.
Cole belongs to that kind of players that they are not normal players. They are top players. And top players, they do things that the normal players or us, we say, how we can do that? It's because he's Cole, it's because he's top, and we can expect this from Cole.
After a slow start by his standards in that first half, he comfortably ended the second half as the best player on the field. And even though he missed the best opportunity to produce the equalizing goal very early on in that second half, these mistakes never fazed Cole Palmer. And it was yet again another reminder to never ever lose faith in Cole Palmer, no matter how he's starting games. The brilliance of Cole Palmer is that he doesn't have to be in a game 24/7 every single minute to really affect things and make things happen for us. And once Maresca unlocked the team by making these smart tactical tweaks that we needed, Cole Palmer shone even brighter. Palmer is the ultimate attacking force. Goals, assists, combinations, off the ball movement. He has it all. I said when we first signed him, his long-term future is playing as a number 10, because this will fully unlock every single aspect and part of his game. And that's because when he plays this role, he essentially is that moving puzzle piece that slots into any part of the board in our game. And some of the moments that he produced, some of the brilliance that we saw, this is a special player we're witnessing. We've been very fortunate as a fan base that every decade we have this caliber of player that plays for us. I'm going to say this now. Enjoy these moments, remember them, let them sink in. You'll be remembering these times when you get older, because Cole Palmer is someone that actively improves the fan experience. I mean, the positions he took up between the lines and out wide was constantly causing danger to Spurs. I mean, some of the moments of skill, there was that particular deft touch that he played from that long pass to direct it then to Pedro Neto. I mean, the way, the balance, the beauty, who can pull that move off? The Mahrez-esque dribble when he was weaving and bobbing in an area of the field where Spurs thought they had this guy contained. He went past one, he chopped inside again, he forced the shot, and you produce your own luck in this game, and Enzo Fernandez did the rest to take full advantage of that brilliant moment from Cole Palmer. And of course, the absolute cherry on the top, that PANENKA right near the end. I mean, honestly, the fact that he decided last minute to pull that off tells you everything you need to know about this abnormal guy, this alien of a football player, this player that rises above the pressure. He doesn't feel it. He's just out there to play his football, and that's when he really comes to life. We've seen players like Ziyech, Havertz, Mason Mount, all have these big expectations placed on them to finally be that magician that we need in the team to unlock things. But it's safe to say that Cole Palmer is all of them and more put together. And I have to say, after 10 years, I can finally feel at peace with the fact that we allowed De Bruyne to leave us. And the beautiful irony is that Man City didn't fully grasp the level of talent they had at their disposal with both hands, and instead, they've now repeated a mistake that we once made foolishly 10 years ago. Beautiful irony at its purest, and we are witnessing the birth of a new generational football player in Europe. For the third thing we've learned, on form, Jadon Sancho is our best left winger. Now, he was the man to spark hope of that comeback with his beautiful, excellent goal. And right now, Sancho is loving life at this football club and loving life with his game. He was so good against Tottenham last night. I love those fan moments I saw from him on the field where he threw the Spurs corner flag on the floor. You know, we can't forget he was brought up being a Chelsea fan. That's the club of his heart. And I have to say that you should definitely thank Maresca for giving him that freedom on the field to really play his best football. He was regularly holding the touchline, pinning Spurs' fullbacks wide, and he can definitely say thank you to the brilliant movement of Enzo Fernandez. By having Enzo's movements, it was constantly just creating space for Sancho to come inside, go outside, combine with teammates, or run towards goal to take shots. Yesterday, 2 key passes, 3 out of 4 dribbles, 2 shots on goal. Every time he was on the ball, he was making things happen. He was determined, he had conviction behind his play, and he played with purpose. The goal he scored was exquisite. I was willing him to take that shot when I watched things in real time. It was pure precision, pure power. And in moments like this, you know, players can't hide behind the system and hope to get back into the game exclusively from the system. You must step up as a player because you are signed for your individual talent if you're coming to this football club. And Sancho, of course, in great form right now, took his chance with both hands. What I loved about his performance is the speed in which he played at. He was unrelentless. He was not slowing nothing down. His problem-solving skills at that pace too, it makes him a very special and unpredictable player, and he is someone his teammates, of course, love to play with. Can't be someone like him who was regularly lighting things up for Borussia Dortmund and then lose that level of talent. No. If you lose it, it means there's something wrong with your environment. And right now, Jadon Sancho is at the right, best, perfect environment for him to really unlock his full skills and abilities. For the 4th thing we learned, Enzo Fernandez is our number 8. He right now is one of the most improved players in this country. In the last 6 games, we are seeing 10 goals and assist contributions from him. He is finally demonstrating why he should never have lost faith in his ability to master playing as R8. And it's why Maresca said in interviews, Enzo is my best player in both boxes, and he is proving that with our incredible recent form. In this role, in this position, he can affect every single parameter of our game. And he does that on the ball, and now he is doing that off the ball. And this is why I could never ever write off Enzo Fernandez. No matter how poor his form was, I could not dare myself to say anything unforgivable because I knew what would come when he finds his fitness and mentality back. And I can't even lie, man, Enzo's newfound form now is even making me reconsider this marriage thing, because how are you telling me that now that you're a single guy now, you've unlocked your peak self? Like, what the hell is going on? Yesterday, one aspect in Enzo's game that has to be praised very highly is what I constantly keep praising him for, is his off-the-ball play. This man is an excellent third-man runner. You need that. And in that sense, I see him as like a better version of McAllister because he gets more assists and he can score goals. He had a very essential role in helping create space for Jadon Sancho. Enzo was positioned on the left-hand side of that midfield box quartet, and in this role, he was tasked with making penetrating runs in between Spurs' fullbacks and centre-back. Last night, he had 1 key pass, 1 big chance made, which was that cutback pass to Palmer, 5 out of 9 ground duels. He's shown that he has an excellent engine and he can play box to box. And in the second half, he shows his complete football ability because he played a slightly deeper role, and that's reflected in the heat maps we're seeing. In the bottom left in the second half, he was tasked with coming down deeper on the fields. He was tasked with helping our build-up play in the pivot. He was essentially a spare man down the bottom of that left-hand side, and in that position, he was a free outlet to constantly just play these beautiful long distance, to constantly play these beautiful switch balls, which he produced 5 out of 6 times, which added more speed and changed the direction of our attacks. He's such an intelligent player in every aspect of this game. Those third-man runs were constantly killing Tottenham yesterday. And when he gets to play this box-to-box role, you're combining all his best qualities, the progression, the build-up, the passing range, his ability to facilitate the play, but most importantly, when he's kind of near the opposition's box. He has the final ball ability in his game, but the loft the balls over the top or through the lines, or now he has that confidence and quality to find himself in the box with late arrivals, to find rebounds, or to take shots outside the box. Honestly, I'm so happy that I am seeing Enzo Fernandez living up to the billing and the goods. I knew this guy had it. I've watched him for too long to ever give up on him, and now seeing him shining with Caicedo, I think it's proof of why the owners and the directors felt like we have to make bold changes now, because this group of players, they are better than the previous ones, and they can take us further than we've never gone before. And for the final thing we've learned, there's no way I could end this video without discussing that brilliant Romeo Lavia first half. Wow, I'm gonna say this, I felt like at times I'm seeing the reincarnation of a Makelele, because Lavia is such an incredibly intelligent player that knows how to move the ball, where to be on the ball, how to play, and he combines that with that defensive skill, and most importantly, the technical aspects. Maresca revealed yesterday that he took Lavia off for precautionary reasons, which is smart because there's no need to risk him, as Maresca says, where he could maybe miss the next 4 to 5 games. And for myself, I think Lavia is the reason why the owners felt like it's okay to sell Conor Gallagher, because we're essentially giving his minutes to Lavia, and I think we may become better for that as the season goes on. Lavia's ability to constantly just receive on the half turn and in tight spaces and under pressure is an absolute thing of beauty. Yesterday he completed 29 out of 29 passes, 100% pass completion. That included 1 key pass. The stats don't show the guy's brilliant ability to play the line breakers throughout the game, and he was constantly fanning his mate Cole Palmer, 2 guys that know each other's game inside and out, after playing under the same manager for Man City's youth team. 3 tackles, 3 interceptions, 5 out of 7 duels. It's just ridiculous how complete his performance was. And when I saw him play, it just made me feel like we could be seeing one of the best holding mids in the world in the not too distant future. And right now, Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, this is the big game system, the big game tactics. They must all play together because they all play beautifully together and they all complement each other's game. But what I love is this guy's match IQ. He knows where to be before he has to be. He constantly has a vision of the game in his head before he even receives the pass from his teammate. He passes the ball with purpose. He's always taking us up the field. And this encourages the great players to find dangerous positions to receive, and knowing the fact that Lavia is going to find them. And this IQ isn't just for how he moves the ball, it's also about how he defends. He knows when to leave his lines and positions to regain possession in the opponent's half, which he did time and time again, and he adds that steal which allows us to win more midfield battles by just taking some of the load and pressure away from Moises Caicedo. As I said, it's a beautiful balance that we have right now, and I just felt like after Lavia's great first half, it wouldn't feel right if I didn't give him absolute praise for that performance. So my friends, I really hope that you guys enjoyed today's 5 things we learned video. I think we saw a massive turning point with this squads. I think big things are happening now, and I feel like this is the result we have been waiting for now, and I feel like the future looks very bright. So if you guys are feeling the energy, if you like the video, hit that like button, share your thoughts and opinions, because I'm the EFC, this is BlueLionsTV, see you all soon, cool.